Hello everyone. In the previous session, we have discussed about the two factors of work study, that is fatigue study and method study. So now in this session, we will continue with the other factors, that is time study and motion study. So time study means where the time required to perform a job should not be decided by the intuition of the manager. Instead, the time study must be conducted to determine the standard time scientifically. So to conduct the time study, Taylor suggested to observe the average worker when he is performing the job and note down the average time taken by the worker in a completion of job. So Taylor suggested to repeat the same observation for 100 times and then take out the average time. And this time should be considered the average time for performance of the job. So keeping in mind the targets of the worker should be fixed, and the worker who are able to achieve their targets in standard time are average workers. If the worker is able to achieve the target before standard time, then he is an efficient worker, and if the worker failed to achieve the target in standard time, then he is an inefficient worker. So time study क्या है? किसी भी जॉब को परफॉर्म करने के लिए जो टाइम लगता है वो मैनेजर नहीं डिसाइड करेगा अपनी इंट्यूशन से, बल्कि एक टाइम स्टडी कंडक्ट किया जाएगा उस स्टैंडर्ड टाइम को साइंटिफिकली अडॉप्ट करने के लिए. So there are some objective of time study, that is standard time required to perform a job, setting up the standard target for the workers, determining the number of workers required to perform a job, and categorizing the workers in efficient and inefficient categories. Next is motion study. So motion study is basically conducted to determine the movements of workers when they are performing the job, to differentiate between the productive and unproductive movements, for cutting down unproductive and wasteful movements, and to design the equipment, tools, furniture which minimize unproductive movements. So to conduct motion study, Taylor suggested to observe an average worker when he is performing the job and note down all the movements he is doing. So how many times he is getting up from his place, how many times he is bending down, etc. Repeat it for 100 times with different workers. And after writing all the movements, classify them in productive and unproductive movements and make the strategy to cut down or minimize the unproductive movements. For example, while observing an average worker, if it is observed that the worker has to bend frequently to pick up the tools from the toolbox placed under his table, then a stool can be placed near his seat to keep the toolbox so that the worker doesn't waste his energy in bending again and again, and the same energy he can use for improving his production capacity or efficiency level. So basically motion study क्या है? जहाँ पे वर्कर के मूवमेंट को ऑब्जर्व किया जाता है, उनके मूवमेंट को क्लासीफाई किया जाता है प्रोडक्टिव एंड अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट्स में, और जितने भी अनप्रोडक्टिव मूवमेंट्स है उसको मिनिमाइज किया जाता है. नेक्स्ट साइंटिफिक टेक्निक ऑफ टेलर इज डिफरेंशियल पीस वेज सिस्टम. सो व्हाट डज इट मीन्स? इट मीन्स paying different rate of wages for efficient and inefficient employees. And this technique of differential wage rate system insists on extra wages paid to efficient employees will motivate them to remain efficient, and extra wages paid to efficient employees will motivate inefficient employees to come in the category of efficient employees. It also insisted on as when payment is given according to the number of unit produced, then automatically the production will be maximized. And this technique is the strongest motivator for employees to perform efficiently. So to conduct or adopt this differential wage system, Taylor suggested that the company must fix a standard rate of wage for the workers producing standard output or their targets. So the worker who produce more than the standard target must be paid with a higher rate of wage, and those who are producing less than the standard output must be paid with a rate less than standard rate. मतलब जो वर्कर स्टैंडर्ड टारगेट से ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस करता है उसको हाई रेट ऑफ वेजेस पे करना चाहिए, और जो वर्कर स्टैंडर्ड टारगेट से लेस प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है उसको स्टैंडर्ड रेट से लेस रेट ऑफ वेजेस पे करना चाहिए. For example, if a standard target is 10 units per day and the standard rate is rupees 50 per unit, so the worker who is producing 10 units must be paid 50 into 10, that is 500 rupees, standard rate into standard output. And the worker who is producing 12 units must be paid with a higher rate than standard rate. We can say rupees 60 per unit. So he will receive 12 into 60, that is 720, which means higher output into higher rate. And the worker who is producing less than the standard output, he must be penalized with the paying less than standard rate. We can say rupees 40 per unit. So he will receive rupees 8 into 40, that is rupees 320. That means lower output into lower rate. So this difference in wages will motivate the workers to become efficient and earn more. Now, the last scientific technique of Taylor is mental revolution. See, mental revolution we have already discussed earlier in the scientific principle of Taylor, which was harmony not discord. So as we know, there are two groups of people in every organization, worker group and management group. And both these groups work as rivals of each other. Rivals means they work as competitor of each other. Worker group feels that they are underpaid and overburdened, and management group feels that the workers are good for nothing. So according to Taylor, there is a need for both the groups to change their attitude and outlook for each other, which means they must develop positive thinking for each other as their objectives are in one direction. So mental revolution means the same. It means change in mental attitudes of worker and management towards each other, and there should be cooperation between the worker and the management. And this cooperation is possible when the management will understand that they are nothing without employees, and employees will understand that they are nothing without management. So with this we have learned all the scientific techniques of Taylor, and also we have completed the second chapter of business studies. Now in next session we will continue with the third chapter, that is business environment. So that's all for today. Thank you.